Hello, everybody. It's Mike Young, lifestyle nutritionist with aPlantBasedDiet.org. Welcome to chapter 49 of my book, Live to 150. This one is about, I want to make sure I get all the terms in here, dementia, Alzheimer's, brain health, arteriosclerosis of the brain, which is a technical term for circulatory system issues, which we're going to get into in the next chapter, so hang around for that. But also type 3 diabetes, which is the way I like to refer to it, because it's a lot more simple to figure this out. Okay, what is it? What's going on? Does this mean that, Mike, you're telling me I'm going to live to 150? Well, I'm going to forget everything by the time. I won't even know I'm alive by the time I get to 150. If you look at what's happening with everybody and these memory care centers, they say Alzheimer's is the next epidemic, or we're in the middle of it right now, dementia, brain fog, whatever it might be. And it keeps getting worse and worse as you get older. And it's like pure misery. You know, I guess live now while you can, right? Because, which means that you're probably gonna have all the wrong habits now while you can. So that later on, when it's really bad, which it will be because you didn't have the right habits, then it'll be misery just like you planned it to be, okay? We don't want any of that, but let's talk about why it's type 3 diabetes. It's like type 2 diabetes. It's the same thing. Arteriosclerosis of the brain. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not working inside the healthcare system, the sick care system. I'm a lifestyle nutritionist, and we talk about the food. We know that the food causes type 2 diabetes. We know that. Too high of a percentage of calories from fat. Also, I didn't mention this in the last chapter, but hopefully you're watching this chapter because you just watched the last chapter. It doesn't have to be just eating plants is not going to guarantee you're not going to get type 2 or type 3 diabetes. Not even close. There's so much junk food out there. So much junk food. And even if you don't eat junk food, oh, Mike, I only eat nuts, seeds, and avocados and durian fruit. Well, you're going to get it too because you're eating too high of a percentage of calories from fat. You should never even eat a whole avocado. You should never eat guacamole, these types of things. They're way too high in fat. You're just going to clog everything up in here. Everything up in here. Okay, I didn't even talk about that much in the last chapter because I'm going to have a chapter on sex. Okay, I said it. I'm going to have a chapter on sex. But when you have type 2 diabetes, because you're having issues with your circulatory system, because you're eating too much fat and it's at the cellular level, you're going to clog up everything down there where things should be working, the smallest blood vessels. You've also got them up here. You've got them in your brain, okay? This is why it's type 3 diabetes. It's the next level. If you keep going with type 2, eventually it starts to affect stuff up here. It starts to shut this stuff totally down. It's like if you're giving up and I'm already affecting your eyesight, I'm already affecting your limbs, your hands, your feet. Well, your brain is next, right? Yeah, might as well just shut everything down because you're not listening to me. That's what your body's saying. That's what your body's thinking. But again, as I talked about this in the last chapter, it's completely haltable and reversible and preventable. Never even has to happen to begin with. Never has to happen, okay? You got to eat a low percentage of calories from fat. And if you want to learn ways to do this, of course, go see chapter 42, where I talk about what to eat. Go see our healthyveganfood.info website, where you can hear from Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn why you should never have oil, which is 100% calories from fat. You'll understand why. He breaks it down at the cellular level. And actually, I should have mentioned that in the last chapter too, but I didn't. But now you're here because it's the next chapter right after that. So go to healthyveganfood.info, scroll down. Each of these videos is over an hour long. So be prepared to learn a lot about science. Okay, but your brain, basically, it's the same process that's happening in the rest of your body on a larger scale. It's happening on a much smaller scale because your brain is a much smaller portion of your body. But it has dramatic negative effects, and you don't want this to happen. And all you have to do is eat mostly whole plants, low percentage of calorie from fat plants. Avoid the plants that have too high of a percentage. Don't eat any junk food. And if you do, it can be just a rare cheat meal. That's it. But if you're just constantly eating junk food, all these packaged things, all these ingredients, it's going to have all kinds of fat in it, almost guaranteed. Okay, it's not good. It's not good for you at all. And we don't want you to have to suffer with this dementia, Alzheimer's, especially if you're living way beyond what most all of your friends and family think you're capable of. You don't want to be in like a brain fog at that point in time where you don't even know what's going on. It doesn't make any sense. Think about it. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to do this? You could do everything right, and you could be eating all this fat in your diet, and then you're going to end up with dementia and Alzheimer's. It's very important Just don't do it. Let me know in the comments below if you have a relative that has Alzheimer's or dementia. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any kind of conversations like I'm having with you right now, where I'm talking about what you need to do to keep yourself from going, like your brain from just shutting off. That's basically what happens, because you've contaminated it so much, the internal blood flow, that it just starts to shut off. And actually that's a preview of the sex chapter too, because it'll be about that same type of a concept. If you think about it, all the stuff is all related. It all makes sense. I wish people were taught this stuff when they were growing up. I wish schools required teaching all this stuff, but for right now they don't. And actually the even scarier part is most of the medical schools don't even teach any of this stuff. The sick care, the healthcare system is great at managing symptoms, but they don't really ever get to the root cause of what's going on. They don't believe in reversing things. They don't believe in healing. They were never taught any of that. They're great for traumatic situations like car accidents and things like that. You got to go get them, patch you up so that your body can heal itself, because those bones aren't healed by the doctors. They can set one, but they can't heal it. Your body heals itself. Your body does all that. If you never thought about it in that way, it's true. That's how it works. Your body always wants to heal. So give it the right conditions. You won't have to worry about Alzheimer's or dementia at all. Don't be scared. Everyone tries to scare you. This is the latest thing. Oh my gosh, we don't know what we're going to do. Everyone's going to lose their minds, literally, but they're not. It's only because of what they're eating, because they're eating the wrong food. Go back to chapter 42 again. And please, once again, give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know about your experiences. Let me know about any recommendations you have about how to approach this with others, because a lot of times the approach is what's more important. People will suddenly become receptive when you say the right words. So I'd love to hear from what you have to say about that. And I hope that you're leaving this chapter and the previous chapter on type 2 diabetes with some hope, or a huge amount of hope. It's really just a closed-minded attitude that's keeping people from getting better and keeping and warding off these diseases of affluence that don't ever need to happen to anybody. So let's get into we're going to get into the next chapter on heart disease, because that's another one. These are all kind of related. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like the video and of course subscribe so you get updated with new chapters, and we'll see you in the next chapter. Bye-bye.